That's the forthcoming single from Nick Cave from his album Nocturama. That's called Bring It On.
That's great. I must admit, I was a latecomer to Nick Cave.
He's extraordinary, yeah.
I mean, years into his solo stuff before, you know, I decided that he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he's fantastic.
No, he's fantastic. I had some exciting news this week, Carl. You'll be pleased to find out. I'm worried that you might get a little bit jealous, because it's obviously going to impact on your world quite strongly, because I know you think you like things to be quite, you know, samey. You like the status quo to be maintained. You like the fact that in the past, you know, we've had some crosswords, you know, because I remember, what did you think of me when I first walked in? When I first came in on the first day of XFM?
I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it, because I'm just being honest, though. I'm just being honest about a lot of people who see you for the first time sort of go, well, he's a bit weird.
I don't know, that's Steve, that you brought it up, and then you're again.
But I'm sure that wasn't what he said before.
No,
did he say before?
Yeah, well,
he's a bit weird.
Yeah, well, he looked at you, and I knew, I could see by the look on his face. You know when you know your kid, and your kid's sort of scared of something, and they go, why's your kid? And goes, oh, he doesn't like pigeons or spiders.
Right.
It was like that. When I saw Carl, and I brought you in, and I went, what do you think of that, Carl? I could see the look on his face that he was disturbed.
Sure.
And then, as he said, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, you get used to it. And you have changed a little bit. Your hair's a bit smarter now, and you got some nicer glasses and that, I think. Or I might have just got used to it.
Whoa! Don't bring it up, Steve. Don't look at me like that.
So you say that you think some other people in the office thought the same? Do you know that for sure?
Carl.
Did you discuss it?
Carl.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Okay, leave it there then.
But not just in the office, as you walk through the building.
It's worse than you ever thought!
Well, no, it's not worse than I ever thought, because as you well know, Ricky Gervais,
yeah.
What did I do on, Thursday morning?
Oh, is this the thing,
For those, that perhaps are not of the female persuasion listening, there's a magazine, apparently it sells quite well, it's one of the sort of female, you know, kind of, issues magazines, I think it's called Company Magazine, you know, it's like your sort of, I guess it's a bit like your Moore or your Vanity Fair or whatever. Anyway, they run every year the 50 most eligible bachelors in Great Britain section. Ding dong, hello! Who's in there this year? In the 50? In the top 50 of the entire country?
And then they vote, and they put them in order and see who's the most eligible bachelor.
But that's 50 people, right? It always annoys me slightly, because bachelor, it kind of seems like a more sophisticated word for loser.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
no.
Which always sort of unnerves me
And also
slightly.
they try and do a different 50 every year, so they're getting pretty desperate to get different ones.
No,
because also a lot of people who are sort of like successful, you know, are married, so there's very little to...
No, there's a huge, I don't know if this is international, it could even be international, I'm not sure actually, so I could be up there with the likes of Justin Timberlake, etc. So, Fred Durst. Yeah. That sort of person, you know. So anyway, this is what's exciting, right? Although I'm slightly frustrated, because they were telling me that last year, alright, because what happens is the readers of the magazine, they vote for who they think is #1 most eligible bachelor, right? Last year, the prize was a 2-week trip in the Bahamas, okay? This year, I'm rather annoyed, because all I'm gonna win is a moped. That's the prize this year, that's the prize this year, a moped.
Whoa, backtrack.
What?
Sorry? Last year was a 2-week trip to Bahamas, and this year
just a moped, all I'm gonna get is a moped.
All you're gonna win is a moped.
Yeah,
you got no chance.
You've
got no chance. Who else is in it? Who else is in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know, lots of them are people you'd never heard of. There was, I know Duncan from Blue was in this.
So you're second to him at least already. I imagine you're gonna come behind the other 49.
Because
there
are people voting for me. They get to vote for me.
Yeah, Steve.
They'll see my photo, and then they can vote for me.
Yeah, according to I was 22nd most sexy man in the world.
I better take that helmet back.
I would. AC/DC.
Brilliant.
You shook me all night long on XFM 104.9. Well, this show is a rockin'.
It is. It is.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I came up with a new, strand for Karl as well. He's always got, you know, we've done, I don't think there's a week gone where we haven't mentioned an hairy kid.
A hairy child, you're right.
Yeah. And some related to a monkey and that, and I thought you could do a regular thing where he's got to come up with a story about an ape or a monkey, and it's called Chimpanzee That.
Of course.
I have got one, but I can't remember it at the moment, so I'll just...
It'll come to you whenever you join the show. Well, listen, while you're thinking about that, while you're stewing on that, here's a problem that someone's emailed in. We're taking emails today. If you've got a problem, a concern, or, you know, just a general query that you think Karl could answer for you, it could be about anything. It could be about some of the big kind of philosophical questions. Yeah. It could be you know, something to do with war or famine, anything like that. Or it could just be a personal dilemma, you know, something that's happening locally. Anyway, this seems one that I think you probably have you and your father have probably come across this sort of dilemma in the past, and I'd be interested to know what your take is on it. Let me see, this is from Lee Matthews by the look of it. He says, he lives in a suburban area where the local teenagers also live on the same road, and they're running riot. They're smashing wing mirrors off the cars, they're crashing into parked cars on their skateboards, they're just generally making mayhem, you know, night and day. What can you do to stop this going on? The parents of the kids don't seem to give a damn. Anyone who complains to them, they just say, "Oh, piss off." You know, the police are useless because they never catch them in the actual act of violence, which is what they got to do to apparently convict them. So they don't know who to turn to, really. It's rather like when a little old lady went and got the A-team, you know.
You know, and he was dressed as an elderly Chinaman.
Exactly.
She knew who he was. Colonel Decker didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
You see, it's weird because now it has got out of hand.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like years ago when I was growing up on the estate, yeah, you had problems, but not like you have now. Do you know what I mean? You know,
summers were nice as well, weren't they?
Well, it did seem that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right, and
police are getting shorter and younger.
But you yourself kind of admitted in the past that you were something of a tearaway. You didn't do anything like these kids here.
The thing is, I was scared that if I got caught doing it, my dad would go mad.
Yes.
And I remember smashing a car window by accident and legging it in the lounge and sort of pretending to go asleep on the settee.
Genius.
And I heard a knock at the door.
Chloroformed himself, just to be unconscious when his dad came home.
And there was a knock on the door, and I thought, oh god, this is the fella who saw me. I was chucking a stone in the air, seeing how high I could throw it.
Of course you were. Did it keep landing on your head? That would explain a lot.
And it came down.
Chucking a stone in the air, love it!
See how far I could throw
brilliant.
So, you know, I wasn't bothering anyone.
Did you invent that game?
Right,
Did you get the stone for your birthday? Go and play with your stone.
He gave one to Suzanne.
Carl, go and play with your stone.
The thing is, right, and it came down at a funny angle, and
of course it did.
It ate the back of this car, and the back window is the most expensive because it has that heating thing in it.
Yeah.
In case you got a frosty window.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh god. So I legged it in, got on the settee, went to sleep, knocked at the door.
Genius, it's a brilliant plan. It's a brilliant plan. I couldn't be guilty, I'm asleep.
So
I love the idea.
So the thing is, our lounge used to sort of, you could see in from the door, right? So this family, who saw me do it, saw me asleep on the settee, and my mum said, go and get the door, and I sort of went, oh, as if I'd been asleep, and went to the door, like, rubbing my eyes, and the fella said, what did you run off for? I saw you. I was like, oh no. And I didn't see my dad, I went out, it was when he was working sort of evenings, so I went out so I didn't have to see my dad. And then the next day I came home from school, and my dad said, 45 quid.
Ooh.
That's all he said. That's all he looked at me.
And then you fell asleep, and he went, wake up, wake up. You know what I said? No, 45 quid.
No, the thing
Carl.
He didn't have to do anything.
£45, Carl. Now, I know you were saving up for a brick, but you can't have it.
Yeah.
But, do you know what I mean? It's like, I knew I did wrong, and I was scared that my dad was going to belt me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, you know, I'll be more careful next time.
But that was clearly good parenting on the part of your father, because these young tykes, clearly they don't have the,
what do you do?
The father support.
I don't know
if you were living in that street, very quickly, what would you do? What would your approach be? If you were living in his street?
What if they'd come over and they just vandalised all your pebbles, right, that you've been saving over the years, and just threw your gravel away? What would you do if they just...
I'd probably clout one of them.
So you'd use violence?
I think it's the only way sometimes.
Sometimes the only way.
And I don't mean, you know, really bad, but I'd show them that I'm not putting up with this.
Right.
And then the problem is you've got their family coming round, and they're probably quite...
Go asleep. If you hit a kid and the dad comes down, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just
so, equally, if you're doing a bigger crime, you know, a bank job or a murder...
Remember to take the stocking off your head, because if they wake you up and go, why have you got a stocking on your head? Just go, oh, I had a weird dream. It won't work.
It's like, with our kid, right, he was, I told Ricky about this the other day in the pub, but he's...
Is this your brother?
He never,
because he was a terror, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but it was more...
He did drive a tank down the high street once, didn't he?
Yeah, that's when he was in the army. But
another story.
But this time, I remember, my mum and dad were going out, right, for the evening, and I must have been about, I don't know, 5, so Mark was like, I don't know, probably 18, so like that, 16, 17, 18. So my mum and dad go out, and our Mark says to me, right, here's a deal, do your little deal. I'm going to have a load of women round. Right? Deal is, I'll let you have your tractor in the house.
Wow, he had a tank, you had a tractor.
Yeah, But but his brother didn't have the rocks that Carl had.
No.
So he needed the tractor to pull his toys
What kind
along.
of a man was he? He brought a bunch of women round.
So yeah, there was loads of. But do you know when you're a kid, you don't think, oh, I know what they're up to. You're not bothered, are you? Do you know what I mean? As long as I've got my tractor, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I was.
It hasn't changed a bit.
But how many women did he have? Was it just him and like a bunch of women?
Yeah.
Was it like, what's his name? What's his name? Look like Nedwell from Confessions.
Yeah.
Confessions of an Older
What,
Brother.
They all just came around and
He liked his women. Seriously, right? My mum and dad had to move because they got sick of women coming round saying, "I've got a kid and it's your marks." They had to move because it got that bad.
Did you hear when you were playing on your tractor and there was women running back and forth in underwear? Did you ever hear this noise? Did you ever hear that?
Or kind of wow 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 wow
Wow, 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 wow. And just see your brother's arse disappearing down the thing,
exactly.
being chased by a butcher. Did you ever?
It's not important. Is it?
Is that what it's going to be like, do you think, when I'm voted #1 most eligible bachelor in Great Britain?
Yeah, and you come in on your moped.
I mean, no, am I going to get a tractor?
Testing. This is a special transmission. A special one-off show. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And the little bald mank twat that is the shaven monkey known as Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Now, Rick, just a quick question, because if people have just stumbled across this, perhaps on the internet or on their TV channel, they're probably going to be a little bit alarmed by what you've said there. You come straight in with little bald mank twat, and a lot of people don't know who that little bald mank twat is, so maybe you should clarify. Well,
I'm Ricky Gervais. You probably know me from such shows as The Office and Extras, cameos in the odd film. My long-term partner, not in that way, Stephen Merchant.
Not in that way. Stephen Merchant, yes, I was involved with some of those projects, but I've not been in a film.
And, we met Carl when we went back to XFM as Conquering Heroes. We were let go when XFM changed hands, and then we did The Office, and then we came back, and we were big shots. No longer did we need to run the desk or press any buttons. So we were assigned, how can I put this, like a stupid lackey.
Yes, proper, I mean, probably the person who was lowest on the rung.
I'd have thought so.
Station.
They said, oh, give it to me, no one wants to work Saturdays.
The caretaker didn't work Saturdays, so they gave us Carl.
And we met Carl, and I was first struck by the roundness of his head, I'll be honest. I thought, this is a bald man, a little round-headed, bald freak of a man. He opened his mouth, he spoke funny. Well, actually, he spoke without opening his mouth. That was the second thing that struck me. He just had this slack-jawed gimpness about him. Words came out.
I think they get the idea now, anyway.
Was what?
Do you feel that that was a balanced explanation of your meeting with us, or would you like to offer any extra detail there, Carl?
Well, with every meeting, there's a different story, isn't there? The way you sort of looked at me and thought, he's weird. I saw Steve. It was like a triangle. Ricky was looking at me, I was looking at you, thinking that's weird.
It seems unjust that I'm the you know, why don't you have any go at Ricky for being fat and
just because
old?
No, I'm just saying on the first meeting,
right?
It's like a museum, isn't it? Everybody rushes to the weird stuff first.
I love the fact that you're putting yourself firmly in that category as well, though. Oh, I love that. That's great. Like someone from Reservoir Dogs. Everyone looking at someone else.
But you don't feel that way about me anymore.
No, I've got used to it now. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that whatever your accusations of weirdness were, they all were unfounded.
It moves on, doesn't it? It's like anything. You get used to a look, don't you? I watch a lot of programs on stuff that people have up with them, and
you only watch programs about people that got something wrong with them. That is what you do. If ever you say, "Did you see that thing last night?" It's going to be something like the kid who was born with too many legs, or the baby with an arse for a head. It's always going to be stuff like that.
It's like there was a program on a bit back about a fella who had a funny head and what have you, and he lived in a small village, and nobody double-taked anymore because you get used to it, don't you?
What was up with his head?
Just had like he was sort of like the new Elephant Man. He'd sort of gone for that look.
He's gone for that look. And what does he do in the morning? Just eat a bun, sort of shave?
It's just that's all I'm saying is people in his village. You want a big village. People are used to it, and they're no longer scared. And that's what I'm saying with you.
But it's interesting that because you say you've acclimatised to my so-called weirdness. I don't know what weirdness that is. I've still not grasped that. But Ricky continues. What?
It's just the eyes.
He's listing shit.
Why are you listening? So I've not had a go at you and you stupid f***ing round head like a f***ing orange. Which is the thing which perpetually entertains Ricky. Ricky is never acclimatise to you. Is that fair, Rick?
Yeah, I love it. I can't get enough of him. Because I see different things. Every time I look at Carl, sometimes I see like a completely sort of like spherical object. Right, like honestly, like some sort of pumpkin on you know, Halloween. And then I see him, flat, straight
with
on.
a pumpkin, Rick,
right.
with a jack-o'-lantern outside someone's house, right? There is a certain light behind the eyes. Not with Carl.
And then sometimes he looks like a plate. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like a clay plate that a child has made.
When they've made a face on the plate using their food.
Or a biscuit. Like one of those biscuits, novelty biscuits you can buy
Sure,
at your
you
birthday.
can ice with a little smile into mine.
Yeah. But that's not the, I think that's not the biggest thing about Carl. Carl, it isn't his, physicality, it isn't it the roundness of his head, it isn't the gimpness of his slack-jawed, face. It's not even his hairy body and sort of like chimp-like gait. It is.
Although those are all key features.
These are all key features, but it's his incredible mind. And I think maybe over the next 2 hours or so, if you haven't heard of Carl, then I think you're in retreat. If you have heard of Carl, then you're already being treated, I think, by the fact that he is present on this special broadcast.
Rick, can I suggest that we take a pause there, play some music, come back and we'll talk some more?
Oh, this isn't just about Carl. We're playing some great tunes. Arctic Monkeys, Fluorescent Adolescent. Talking of monkeys, we're here with Karl Pilkington. I say we. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
Doing a special one-off broadcast. Now, it's special in the sense that I don't know why it's special. I started that sentence. I had no. I had no backup. It's not particularly special. We've done this thousands of times. Well, it's special in the sense
you got the old team back together.
Exactly. It's special in the sense that it is a one-off.
Yeah.
That's why it's a special one-off. It's special in the sense that it is a one-off.
I know it's special for me because I'm giving up a time, about 3 or 4 hours of my time for no money and no personal gain. So
well,
it's a special treat
you
for me
say that. Now, Sammy Jacob, right, is the guy that founded XFM and gave me and Steve our break in entertainment or whatever, comedy. I remember also on the second day, he said, when are you two going to do some work before I fire?
Yes.
Which was,
and I vowed that no one would ever say that again.
Yeah.
And,
so he called me out of the blue and said, you know, we're launching Enemy Radio. Oh, that's a good project, you know. I'm a fan of the genre. Right, will you do a special show? Right, I called Steve. Steve went, I called Carl and he went, definitely not. And so I had to persuade these two miserable bastards to do this show. Carl, why didn't you want to do this? As a favour, I said to Carl, let's do it, let's do one. There's 2 reasons I wanted to do this. One, we'd stop the podcast. Yeah. Carl, we charged for the podcast because you'd left work, and, you know, we did very, very well with that, and I thought I want to give something back to the fans, okay? That's one thing, okay? Right? 2, I want to do Sammy a favour. Why not? Okay?
Well, that's fair. That's your opinion.
Yeah, but you, yes.
But what you can't do, when you're doing someone a favour, you can't go, yeah, Steve and Carl feel the same about it. Yeah, of course I'll do it, Sammy. Well, Carl will do you a favour, the man you've never met and you've never done a favour for yourself. Well, of course he'll do it.
Well, hold on. Steve didn't want to do it either. He was busy. He works on 6 Music, so he was worried about that. He shouldn't really be doing it.
I shouldn't really be doing this, and I'll tell you this, if you do love great new music and lively chat, then 6 Music Sunday afternoons is a great place to be with the Steve Merchant Show.
I agree. There's enough for everyone to go round. Yeah. Enjoy that, enjoy this. Yeah. But Steve does it a favour to me. I said, Steve, well, do it. All right, mate. You've done me enough favours. Yeah. Yes, I will. Okay? You didn't fall for that. I said, as a favour to me. No, he didn't. I even started an internet campaign to put in the poster up saying, Carl, do some work, you little lazy bastard. After a month, he was begging me to stop it.
I wasn't begging you. It was just a bit stupid.
You were really annoyed.
Yeah,
what I like, though, it's interesting because you're a busy man, Rick, and I know you've been heavily involved with lots of projects. How you found time, because you don't like writing and doing any form of administration at any time. How you found time to write a daily blog is quite remarkable.
Well, I knew it was irritating.
Right.
It was, it captured the imagination of, you know, people all over the world. I wanted him to do this podcast, and here we are. What changed your mind, Carl?
Well, you kept going on about it.
Yeah.
And then I thought...
You saw friendship was an important thing.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Now I've got to tell Steve something on air that Steve doesn't know about. Me and Steve are doing this for free, as a favour. I'm doing it as a favour to Sammy. Steve's doing it as a favour for me. That's what friends are for. Carl was negotiating himself some money.
Yeah, well, this...
Who the hell have you negotiated money from?
With Sammy, I didn't know him. I owe this man nothing. I'm not doing anything for free. I've got bills to pay. We've all got bills to pay, right?
Oh.
You've got other work that brings you money in.
Let me just stop, because...
Sick of it.
Wait, though, because this is interesting, because, as you say, Rick, you're doing this as a favour to Sammy, he gave you your big break. Now, Rick, you gave me my big break, right? I didn't know Sammy. Ricky gave me a break. I'm doing this as a favour to Ricky.
Oh, hold on.
Who the hell gave Karl Pilkington a big break? There's one man in this room who wouldn't even have an agent, wouldn't even have a need for an agent if it weren't for Mr. Ricky Gervais. But hang on a minute, it's not me.
Nice one, Steve.
I'm already thanking you, Rick.
Nice one, Steve.
This free show, so hang on a
You
minute.
miserable, ungrateful, little mank twat. Yeah, it's I hope you feel really bad.
I don't feel bad.
Me and Steve are doing it out of the kindness of our heart.
Yeah, free.
You're money grabbing again. That also on the internet, how mean he is.
I'm not mean.
You are mean, Carl, because, you know, we did those paid podcasts, and all I wanted to do was some free ones. You wouldn't do it.
Because we've done it now. I'm just saying, you've got to get to a point when you go, I enjoyed that. Yeah, the podcasts were alright. Cut them off. You don't keep the story going. With the Bible, they didn't go, let's do another volume. People seem to like this story.
Yes, they did.
What?
The New Testament. The Old Testament was a
Yeah,
massive
right, they did it once then. They did like a special for the fans. But all I'm saying
Sequel,
is...
there's one sequel.
But they didn't keep going on. And we did 3 lots of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's more than enough for anyone.
But I just wanted to give, you know, the people on the internet something back.
Yeah, well, we've given them enough. Sick of the people on the internet always moaning.
What? Who am I?
Just moan.
Who do?
People do. Sick of it. Calling me Graham. They said I'm not even real. They said he's an actor. He's called Graham. That annoyed me. That's the thing that annoyed me the most. Graham. Of all the names. It's just that if I'm not me, what am I? That's the thing that annoyed me most.
If I'm not me, what am I?
Well, it would annoy me if someone was accusing me of something, because, I mean, that's the thing. No, it annoyed you because they were stating a falsehood.
Yeah, that's what annoys me. That's what did me head in.
Let's play a record and be back with Carl after this.
Listening in this book, listen, right? In this book, little tips and stuff. So one here about if your dog keeps nicking a remote control, the way to get it off it, ring the doorbell. Right, so you got to get off your chair, go and ring the doorbell, so the dog goes, what's that? And it drops the remote control, goes running to the door, you run back and pick it up.
I love the idea of Carl doing that, and then the doorbell goes, and Carl drops it and goes, and it's the dog pressing the doorbell, and it sits back down, and Carl going, oh no, not again.
I mean, I really do want... Can't I just have this?
You excited by that, are you?
It's brilliant.
What about this one, though, that you mentioned? This is, a book which has got all those, urban legends and stories that you've read on the internet, and it tells you whether they're real or not. This has got the one in there. I know you're very excited about the one with the woman who stuck her head in the microwave.
Yeah.
Eh?
Right.
It's not alright. So basically, that she's saying here that whenever Ricky says, oh, it's not true, you can dispute that with your book.
Yeah. What do you think then, Carl? Do you ever think about all these gifts?
There's so much stuff, isn't there?
Should we play a record and then come back? Have you found something you like in there?
You're so undecided, Carl.
I really like this book.
Go on, what is it? What else you found? What tip?
God, there's loads of stuff in here. Let's just pick one at random. Don't be too tidy. Leave some areas for helpful garden animals to hide in. So when you're cleaning your garden and that, you know, it might look a bit of a mess, but think about the animals that are walking about at night in the dark and stuff.
Yeah.
Just little things you don't think about.
Yeah, because they're pointless.
Little,
Okay, then we'll just play a record.
Oh, there's so many to decide on.
Alright, what we're playing, Steve?
This is something from a little compilation that came free with a magazine called Comes With a Smile. It's a good little magazine. And this is by Matt Pond, PA. It's called Night's End. It's nice. I suppose there's a little bit of New Country, which we don't play often, but there's some nice tracks floating about, and that's Matt Pond, PA, Night's End.
Well, I'm getting very sad now. 10 minutes to go. There's so much to cram in. Now, thing is, Carl's fallen in love with that book, but I feel a bit bad letting a friend sort of win when all these lovely people, these regular listeners, so I don't think you can have that. But I'll tell you what, I'll borrow that, or I'll buy it for you. So you can have that anyway. What have
That's
you
safe,
found
you're going home with that.
Avoid washing up by boiling a bag food.
See, I can see why you'd love that.
Exactly.
Is there anything else? What other things have you caught your eye, though? Put that book down. Go on.
Well,
one of our regular listeners who actually wants the bag and wants to be part of your life. Come on.
Well, Richard emailed in, right? And he's got a book, which is similar to the one I like there.
Yeah.
Which has got like 180 stories in it. I mean, most of them are, like, true, I think. Do you know I was telling you that story about the woman who put her head in the oven to dry her hair?
Yeah.
Because she liked the way...
She boiled her brain.
Yeah, she stuck it in the microwave.
Avoid washing your hair by boiling the brain bags.
So she put her head in the microwave?
Yeah.
And boiled her brains?
Yeah. And boiled her brains.
Sure.
She thought she'd get the same result as she did from the oven, but it all went wrong and that. And
What do you mean? She used to dry her hair in the oven? And she just, like, went modern?
Apparently, it's like what punks used to do. You get a different sort of heat off an oven than you do off a hairdryer, right?
Sure.
So, she thought, well, I'll do it in half the time, use a microwave.
Sure. She was busy, she
I
was
don't
late.
understand how you can get your head in a microwave. It only works when the door closes.
Yeah, but you jam the little thing, don't you?
Well, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't tell. I don't think it's possible, but don't.
Of course it is.
Yeah, well,
anyway,
don't.
But
do that.
he remembers that story and said, I've got a book full of stuff like that. And, he sort of sums up a little story that's in the book about this girl who, she had long hair, right? And, she used to always mess around with it. And, she's sucking on it. Do you know, like how girls do with the long hair? They sort of mess around with it and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's sucking on it all the time. And she was doing this from the age of, like, 10. And then, I don't know, she's probably about 30 odd. And, she's doing this all the time.
Guessing.
And, she goes, oh, God, my belly's hurting today, mum. And she goes, oh, what's wrong with you? She says, I don't know.
You're 30?
Yeah. So, so she goes to the doctors, and the doctors do an x-ray, and nothing's coming up, and it's like, I don't know what's wrong with you, you know, you're just being a bit moany about nothing. She's like, no, honestly.
He's a very intolerant doctor.
Yeah.
She said, this is...
Piss off.
this is really hurting, I don't know what's up with it. So anyway, they found out some sort of system of, looking at what was going on.
Yeah.
And apparently...
X-rays?
No, it wasn't X-ray, because X-ray didn't show it up.
Okay.
It was something else. So, anyway, it's only gone and turned into, like, she's been sucking her hair for so many years
Sure.
that little bits had come off. She's got a giant air ball in her belly.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Which was, like, huge, the size of a rat or something like that, right? The size of a...
It's so interesting what he chose. The size of a rat.
No. Well, the funny thing is, when they eventually got it out,
Yeah.
the mum was like, you know, oh God, it was terrible, and that's what she actually said. It looked like a dead rat.
Oh. Right.
And it was in her belly, and that's like what was causing all the pain.
Sure.
And apparently, your belly acids don't kill hairs because they're so fine it can't handle it. Yes.
Right. So you're going for that book, are you?
That's the one I want.
Who's the winner then? Who's the winner of the lovely BAFTA
What's his
bag?
name there? Richard Scholar, is it or something?
Yeah, Richard, Scular or Scowler
Yeah.
or something else. So he's the winner. So check it out. You're going to get that book coming to you. I'll borrow this book for you.
I need an email within like 5 working days to sort of...
So what's your email?
It's carl.pilkington@xfm.co.uk.
Okay, lovely.
I want an email from this guy, and I won't be sending the bag out until I receive the goods.
Okay, right, good.
enough.
Well, we've only got a few minutes. I want to play Suede, and I want to end with the Smiths track. So let's play this.
What is it?
Suede, Stay Together. Lovely track. My favourite Suede track of all time there. Well, we're oh, that's nearly it, Carl. Right, what's your last Room 101?
Oh, God. It was, holidays.
Holidays.
You want to put holidays in room 101?
People, they were sort of annoying on holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know when you go away?
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of touched on this before.
Is this going to be the Scouse guy?
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, it's so long, though. I mean, it was a holiday when we went to Tunisia.
And the Scouser pissed you off, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the annoying thing was, you know, when you go on it was a cheap holiday, and, like, the lesson here is, you know, if you want a good holiday, you gotta, like, spend some money.
Yeah.
And we didn't on this one. We spent about, I don't know, 400 quid for 2 of us for, like, a month or something ridiculous. And we got there, and, you know, you get to the hotel and you go, we have made a mistake. You know, it's a ropey hotel. You know, you can tell, like, the blinds and stuff as you walk in, they're all dirty and stuff. You think, well, let's make the most of it. You know, let's not get down about it. It's a holiday. It's for a rest. And you try and make the most of it. And we had to meet. Do you know, like, you have one of those things where you get to your destination and the rep says, right, you know, go and unpack your bags and that. Go and sort yourself out in the room. And tomorrow morning we'll meet up at 10 o'clock, and I'll go through, you know, the best sort of place to go for camel rides, and you know, the best deals I can get you. That sort of thing.
Can anyone here walk like an Egyptian?
So she says, right, tomorrow morning meet 10 o'clock in the discotheque. So we get up and we have breakfast, and it wasn't a good breakfast. The kitchen was like bit horrible. The food wasn't good, and it was run by sort of midgets.
What do you mean it was run? Not there's anything wrong with that.
There was little fellas running around, and the annoying thing was one of them sort of started to fancy my girlfriend.
How did he manifest his affection?
No, you're not saying there's anything wrong with midgets, though, are you? Just saying it was strange. There was
but even midgets shouldn't be cutting in on Karl Pilkington's territory.
I know, no.
But it's also that thing of, you know, they've got little fingers, and it's sort of ruined.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not. It is a bit of a phobia of mine.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? They are nice people and that.
Sure. Oh, God.
But the annoying thing is...
So what was he doing then? How did he... I don't understand how he was chatting up your girlfriend. Was he crawling under the table so you couldn't see?
Just kept...
whispering to her from underneath there.
Stop it!
Just sort of, you know...
Wait, I don't want to get a complaint on our last show.
There's
not many midgets.
What's going to happen? Can we just finish this and start up again in a couple of months?
Oh, yeah. So if you want to know more about the midget-themed restaurants, then we'll talk you in 3 months.
Yeah.
It's just...
no, that's fair enough, actually.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
absolutely right,
sorry
Karl.
about
That's your
this.
producer's
Listen,
head on.
we'll see you in about it's been a pleasure, truly, and thank you for everyone that wrote
I've got you
letters. Have you really?
I've got you both a present. Right?
Oh.
I got Ricky, do you know, like we've done fables and
Yeah.
stuff? Right?
Yeah.
This is like Mr. Ben.
Oh.
This is brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like little fables that Mr. Ben goes on.
Oh, fantastic.
So I want you to learn something from that for when you come back.
Okay, brilliant. That's lovely,
I'll tell you
Karl.
one of the stories I read this morning. It's brilliant. In fact, when you've done with it,
Yeah.
give it me.
Yeah.
Because I haven't finished reading that.
Okay, thank you, Karl.
And for Steve, a little, chat-up lines.
A little book of chat-up lines.
That's fantastic.
Karl.
Well, we'll see you, in 3 months, but currently emailing Karl, cherish Karl Pilkington. He sits in a little room by himself, so keep him in touch, and we'll see you in, August. We're gonna leave you with something that, we all love. This is, There Is a Light That Goes Out by the Smiths. Very apt, I think. Goodbye.
See you later.
Syntax, Friday, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Right, get off. Right, what you got next?
Right, well, running a bit late with this, but it's time for, Do We Need 'Em? We're looking into what
I'm really
animals-
worried about this, because everyone's getting that last clue wrong. I reckon it's so rubbish that even your mental fans can't work it out.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but
Give that final Rockbusters clue again.
the Jamaican fella, had to have some aspirin. Why is that?
What were the initials?
Why did he have to do it?
No,
FD.
hold on, that's changed.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter, the
Oh,
story's
it doesn't
still
matter. That's the point of a cryptic clue, isn't it? Oh, what have you got now?
Right, so we're looking into animals that we get rid of. I've spoken to someone about snails, I've spoken to someone about jellyfish, and that, and looking at cockroaches today.
Right, now who's the expert?
It's a woman called, Jessica Marshall.
Right.
Does she know that you're going to play this on the radio?
Well, I called up, right, in the week and said, can I talk to someone about cockroaches? And she was like, is that Karl?
She knows who you are.
Yeah.
Right, so she already knows maybe your angle, your approach.
Yeah, she was
And
up for it.
she's an expert, she's just not just some random person.
No, she works in a museum, a good museum. I said I'd give it a plug. It's the one near Knightsbridge. It's got dinosaurs and that in it. It's worth seeing.
Well,
this is
Natural
her.
History Museum.
Yeah. So,
Not sure. He's not sure.
this is what happened. Now, what I'll do, I'll tell you as much as I know, and then you can fill me in if I'm right or wrong. And then at the end of it, we'll get to the bottom of whether we need them or not.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, the first thing that I found out is that they have 18 knees.
That's not exactly possible. They're insects, so they have 6 legs.
Yeah.
And a knee is usually the junction between femur and tibia. That's sort of classic human knees and every other animal knee. So with 6 legs, you can only have 6 knees.
Could somebody sort of got mistaken for seeing one that was a bit double jointed? Cover
I think
tracks.
you're grasping at straws or something.
All right. Well, we might have to come back to that one then.
Okay.
They can hold the breath for 40 minutes.
Well, they don't do that because they don't breathe in the same way as us. They breathe through little spiracles holes down the side of the body, so, no, they're not a very apt simile because the method of breathing is so different.
What do you mean?
Because insects have a totally different system. They don't have lungs in the way that we do, and just breathing through one part of the body. They're actually breathing through every segment of the body all of the time.
So even though they've got their mouth shut, they might be able to slide.
Nothing to do with breathing.
So
only feeding.
So you see, maybe that's where someone's gone wrong. Someone's got hold of one and sort of taped its mouth up or something, and got bored after 40 minutes and said, well, we'll call it right.
It's a unkind thing to do to an insect, even to a cockroach.
Yeah, but it's all...
You can't do that.
Yeah, but...
No. Pretty unkind thing to do anything, even a cockroach.
Something else I found out.
Yeah.
They can live for a week without an head.
Well, that's true if they don't bleed to death in the process.
But the weird thing is, when I told you that they had 18 knees, you seemed a bit sort of like, don't talk ridiculous. But then we're talking about an animal that can live without an head. So there's a little bit of truth in that one, yeah?
Yes.
Why, when it was invented, has it got that facility? Say if someone said to humans, we could do that with humans, and, you know, if you lose your head in some accident, it gives you a bit of time to sort of go back to your family and maybe write them a note. You won't be able to have a chat, but write them a note saying, it was my own fault, and it was nice knowing you.
Well, that would be a useful facility, I agree, but cockroaches are great survivors. I mean, they've been around for over 300 million years. They're one of the most primitive insects.
Alright. Well, I've also, is it true that they do a lot of resting? Apparently they can sort of rest for 75% of the time.
Rest?
Yeah, they just sit about doing nothing.
It's probably true of a vast proportion of the world's fauna. Well,
I mean, maybe the 25% that they are working, they're really giving it some, so it might make up.
They're probably searching out food, and yeah, they can slow down considerably. You can chill insects in the fridge and they'll become very, very quiet. You might think they're dead.
Yeah, but I'm sure, you know, if we were sat in a fridge, you know, we'd go a bit quiet, wouldn't we, you know?
Well, you might not know much about it, of course.
Yeah, but...
Not quite reading the right sources.
Well, I've been using the internet.
I'm sure there are many useful sources that you could find there, but some of those seem to have been a little misleading to you.
So you don't agree with a lot of what I've told you there?
No.
So, cockroaches, can we get rid of them?
No.
So we're keeping them then?
I would say so, yes.
I think we should get her on more often, because she sounds like she'd be a bit of an ally, really. Because she knew immediately that you were talking nonsense. She even said, I think you should be more concerned about your sources, which I've been trying to tell you for a year, right? The fact, I mean 18 knees, where did you get that from?
It's on the internet.
They can hold their breath for 40 minutes. I mean, I don't know what you read and take on.
Mad world, don't it?
Right.
The Cure, obviously.
Yeah. Right, Carl's been taking phone calls for these clues. Right, and so everyone's been saying the same thing for the last one. He's been going, no, and I'm worried, I'm always worried. FD. I just overheard him on the call there going, what have I been saying? Oh, no, it's FP. Dickhead. Right, give me the clues out. It's a rollover. Right, tell people we're really sorry to anyone who would have got that right. Okay, right, do the clues quickly. Tell them it'll be a rollover, so we have to do 3 new ones.
Do you not write these down, Carl?
I don't write the answers down in case Ricky looks over the thing and sees the answer.
Why would I cheat? I'd rather you do something right with your life.
Right, well, the clues were, I've got 3 other jumpers like this one.
Yeah.
That was FT.
Yeah.
They got that, 4 tops.
Yeah, that's alright. Good, well done.
That bunch of people can't make up their minds if they'd want to sit in the sun or not. That was C, they were getting that. That was charlatans. Charlatan, right? A bunch of them charlatans, right?
What do you mean? What's Charlie?
No, it's like, shall I go out? Shall we? Charlatans. They got it, right? Where I went wrong with this one, the Jamaican fella, he had to have some aspirin. Why? It's my fault, you know, I'm not cutting, there's no point passing the book or anything. I said FD, a lot of people were saying, Fred Durst, like, forehead hurts. which is a good one.
Yeah, which would have been as good as any of yours.
But I made an error, so we'll roll it over.
No. What is the answer?
What
was the answer? Jamaican fella what? Add some aspirin, why do that? What's the thing?
FP.
FP, it was Frida Payne.
Frida Payne?
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne. That's awful. You've got to write these down next week.
I'm sorry,
you're the producer.
I know, but I've had a busy week, haven't I?
That's not an excuse. That isn't an excuse.
Our excuse is we don't care.
Yeah.
You do
put
care.
the work in and then make a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, it's better not to try than try your hardest and be rubbish. Do you see what the point? We don't care.
But you've got standards.
Yeah, and
you're not meeting them.
Think of that. You're not even reaching your standards. God.
Right, well that's that I guess. Well, the prizes will be giving those away next week.
Again. Just completely...
Song for the ladies to end the show with. It's from Nick Cave's new album, Nocturama. This is a track called He Wants You. Back next week.
Remember, Frida Payne.
Richard Ashcroft. Check the meaning. He's from your neck of the woods, isn't he?
Wigan.
Yeah, we were just discussing,
the fact how miserable and mean Carl is. He won't do anyone a favour.
Do favours. I shifted your telly.
Oh, hold on! He shifted my telly. I gave him a television. I gave him a bed. He went, I shifted your bed. No, I gave you a bed. That's how he couches things.
I cashed that bloody cheque you wrote to me.
Unbelievable.
Who's the last person you did a favour for where you weren't expecting something in return?
I'm always treating people. I've told you, if I have a good day, at the end of it, I'll go, do you know what? I'll treat them.
Treat who?
It might be a homeless fella. It might be some charity. I'm sick, honestly, the amount of money I give away
it might be a girlfriend who got a lovely new camera for Christmas, still wrapped up from when it was given to you as a leaving present.
So...
all this stuff about you're doing so much for charity, you honestly tell me, you think you're walking along, you're whistling, oh, I had a great day, me. Hey, you never have a great day.
No, I've never seen you have a great day. It doesn't matter what, it's unbelievable. You're whinging all the time, miserable. Yeah. Nothing impresses you, nothing at all. The best I've ever heard you was alright, that.
Well, tell us about the last time you had a great day. What was the last great day you had where you thought, oh, I must end this by giving some money to a homeless fella?
I mean, yeah, I don't have a great day. but what I mean is, a day when I go, do you know what? I'm quite content.
That's amazing!
It's a long way from a good day.
That is the equivalent of him skipping along.
No, every night before I nod off, I lie there, and I think, what sort of a day have I had? And I'll go through it, and I'll go, yeah, that was alright.
How boring is that?
No, it's good, you've got to do that, otherwise what was the point of the day? If you're never going to look back on it and go, what have I done? Yeah, that was alright. What's the point of it happening?
But how often do you go, wow, I've really achieved a lot today? Because I remember one day at random you told us, you'd been to the Cobblers and back.
I didn't even know Cobblers still existed.
Yeah, that was a 24-hour period we were talking about there. You kept a diary. It mainly consisted of, had a chip butty in a cafe with Suzanne. And then you talk about an old woman you saw.
No,
that was your day.
I've made it a thing that I do now, that I like to learn something every day, and then...
Go on, what have you learned today?
Well, I haven't done anything yet.
Brilliant.
But what I'm saying
is...
What
did you learn yesterday?
I've learned you're not a generous man. You're a mean man, so you don't repay.
And that's coming from Steve Merchant.
I'm just saying, as long as... I always think if you've learnt something, then the day's not been wasted.
Well, what have you learned yesterday? What have you learned yesterday?
It was the... What's it? Something you told me about the monkey arm.
Right, yeah. There's, scientists, have done the first brain robot interface. They've put like 100 electrodes on the part of the cortex that is for your motor system, and they put it on a monkey's brain, and through the power of thought he learned how to use a robot arm.
Wow. So
just by thought, just like you do your own arm, you know, and it took him a few days, not years. In a few days this monkey was making this robot arm pick up grapes and put it in his own mouth through the power of thought, right? Carl went, did he have his own arms? I went, yeah. He went, well, he's lazy then.
Don't you think it's a bit wasted on a chimp? One, what's it doing? All they ever do is eat or chuck shit about. So why give them a decent new robotic arm?
Well, who are you going to give it to?
I just mean give it to something that is going to get more use out of it.
What, a giraffe?
Right. No, something more... If they could link that up to a worm, I'd go, that's good.
Well, how could a worm think to use a robot arm?
Listen to me.
They can't think.
Hang on, I'd like to know. I'd like to know how this tiny
How do you know? How do you know? What I'm saying is, a worm's never had an arm.
You're a maniac! Think what you're saying! You wish a worm had an arm for a day!
No, all I'm saying is, if we're gonna faff about here and get animals giving them extra arms, don't...
They weren't giving a monkey an extra arm! They were testing this theory that they could make the first computer-brain interface. The thought went from the brain through a computer and made this arm work. That's incredible. The upshots are, you can really have bionic arms. You could have amputees having perfectly working dexterous limbs.
And your response to that is?
Give it to a worm.
I'd just say I'd be more, I'd sort of be fascinated about seeing it more. If they said, look at what the worm wants to do with an arm if it had one.
I honestly don't know how your brain works. I think we should give it to you and see what you do with the arm.
What? I tell you what.
How could a worm have an arm, Carl? It
wouldn't have an arm. The monkey didn't have an arm. It was a robot arm that they'd set up.
Right. Let me explain it like this. I wish they'd have picked something else. Maybe not a worm, but they always seem to do the tests on the wrong animals.
No, they do it on the closest thing to the human being they can.
I'll tell you what I read. Do you know I say I like to learn something every day and what have you?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, it was about our worm. They've given it anti-aging cream.
Right.
When have you ever seen an old worm? How do we know if it's any good? I could not tell you the age of a worm. I've seen loads of them. Give it a tortoise.
Play a record.
Bob Dylan, Positively 4th Street.
I actually, Rick, was in Vietnam a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if this was thanks to your campaign, but I did pass somewhere. It was admittedly a European person, but as I passed, they went, "Oi, oi! Karl Pilkington's got a head like a f***ing orange."
That's amazing.
Which is lovely to see.
And
I've had it all the way around the world.
That's in Vietnam. What were you doing in Vietnam?
You know, just heard there was a war. Went over to see if that was wrapped up. They finished that a while ago.
So you've been to Vietnam. You went to
popped down to Cambodia at the same
Cuba,
time.
yeah, Cambodia, Kenya. I was wondering, would you ever consider going to a holiday destination where you didn't have to have injections in the stomach to get in?
Well, you know what? I am an adventurer by spirit. I'm a sort of Indiana Jones figure, and plus someone was paying for it. We did it. Pardon me. We did it in high-class luxury. There was no slum in it. I felt a bit bad because I was worried that I wouldn't see the real Vietnam. But I did see the real Vietnam from the air-conditioned 4x4 that I was being driven to my 5-star hotel.
And what's it like?
It's great. It's really good. I mean, obviously, you know, the war was a long time ago, so they've got back on the, you know, back on their uppers. I don't know what I mean by that, but anyway,
no, it's the other way around. If you're on your uppers, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
Back on. Anyway, no, it's doing well. A lot of nice people, a lot of generous people. You know, obviously there's poverty.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things over there I think which would really intrigue you, Carl, and I think it's a great shame that you're not more adventurous as a traveller, because I think it would really open your eyes.
You're having a laugh. He has about 9 holidays a year.
Yeah, he goes to the same place, doesn't he? Some rock in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, it's safe. I know Vietnam's
There's nothing there.
I know, but I don't sort of... What I've seen of Vietnam, I had a mate who went to somewhere like that. He showed me a picture. I had a picture of him walking round with a bag of locust that had been sold, and that's to eat.
Well, I did actually utter the phrase at one point. Oh, I think that gecko's repeating on me.
That's what I mean.
So, I mean, I am quite exotic. I don't mind. I tell you what I didn't do, though, and I think I would fascinated to have seen you down there. There's a place in Vietnam, just outside of Hanoi, called Snake Village, right? And it is a long, long tradition in Vietnamese culture of eating snakes. In fact, one of the tourists even said, one of the guides actually said, "We will eat anything." And they eat snakes over there, and I'm not just talking about tiny little ones. I mean proper great big mammoth snakes, sometimes even king cobras, which I think may even be endangered in some parts of the world. And anyway, in Snake Village, you go over there. I didn't go because I was just a bit too squeamish. You sit down, they bring a great big snake. You choose it like you would a lobster. They bring you that snake. They sort of give it a bit of a demonstration. Then they slit it open in front of you.
That's disgusting.
The blood dribbles into a cup, and then if you're the guest of honour, they take the still beating heart and they make you drink it from a glass.
Yeah, you see.
That's disgusting.
I've never fancied that.
No.
I've never sort of thought, you know what? I just think it's not holiday, that. It's like endurance.
Well,
I don't,
I'm not suggesting that you would enjoy that. I'm saying that there are many of these interesting, you know, exotic worlds out there.
You just stay closeted in your tiny little world and whinge about everyone else. Oh, and this and that. You've got no real empathy. I mean, I went to some extraordinary places in Vietnam. There's quite a lot of floating villages. Yeah. Villages that are actually floating on the water where the fishermen
he's
live.
had trouble with his boiler. There was a big leak in your flat, wasn't there?
But that's fine, looking at stuff like that. All I'm saying is, when it comes to the point when I'm getting hungry, don't be serving me a snake's head. I'd love to see a little floating village. But why is it every restaurant you go in, they go, you know, do you want some crispy ant? Sea urchins? You know, some mate had one of them, and he said, it's sort of alive when you're eating it. You have to hit it on the head to knock it out a bit and eat it before it wakes up again. I don't want a meal where you're sort of having to do that to it. I'm not going to enjoy it, thinking, is it waking up yet? I haven't finished my starter. Oh, it's rolling about a bit. Hit it on the head again.
But this shows your ignorance, Carl, because Vietnamese food is not like that at all, is it? I'm just talking about one particular exotic restaurant.
What was your last holiday? A couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a cheap one though.
Go on, where'd you go?
It was only 250 quid.
Yeah, brilliant. Go on.
Just a place in Menorca.
You don't want to waste money, do you?
Menorca. It's just,
But you've been there before, haven't you?
No, I don't think I have.
You've basically been to the same places over there.
Yeah, there's not, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, there was nothing there to see. It was just, even the weather wasn't that good. But
so it was a waste of time. No wonder it was 250 quid.
I don't know why I went.
But it's an experience.
So you and Suzanne went away for an idyllic holiday. It was £250 all in for a week, was it? Weather wasn't very good. There was nothing to see.
It was a shithole.
Right. What did you do?
I just sat outside and I was watching.
In the rain.
Really? You didn't even need to hire a villa then. You could have just pitched up and said, "Can I sit here?"
We had our own space, and for the first day it was all right. And then then a family moved in next door from Scotland, and they were loud. And I hate it when people are loud and you can't understand what they're saying because their accents was really strong. So it's like, no, I can't even sit here and listen to what's going on. It's like really strong accent.
Brilliant.
The kid was only young, but he sounded old. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what that means.
No, I have no idea.
Just the Scottish voice, it sounds old. Even though he was a baby, he had a voice of an old man.
I don't know what that means.
This is what I'm saying. You don't go anywhere where you can embrace the change and the difference. You go to places where just some annoying people come and you move in next door.
I had paella. I mean, it depends how much you want out of life.
Well, it seems to me, though, Carl, the problem is that show's been running so long that all the big names have already been done, so it's going to end up having to be, isn't it, Lamal or some old kind of 50s singer you've never heard of? Isn't that the problem?
I remember when...
I mean, it's just
Eddie Reader was on there. There was you've had Eddie Reader.
But it's just a karaoke contest. It's just... I think you're assuming that everyone on there wants to get, you know, a recording contract.
They do, Steve.
Okay.
In that bit at the back where they say, and the votes are coming in, let's have a look at the tension now that's going on. And they sat there and they really think they are Elvis. and they are Luther Vandross. Sat there, and like, if they were all sat there having a laugh...
Woke up this morning, looked at your picture just to get me started. Filth.
If they were all sat there, sort of thinking, oh god, this is a bit of a laugh, innit? But they're not, you can see that they all really want it. And it's like...
So what I'm saying is, who are you putting in room 101? Are you putting in the people who are just there to have a bit of fun?
Everyone involved in that show.
Including Kelly?
Yeah.
He's a talented guy. You don't care?
No,
he's going in as well.
He's in there first, and then everyone else, everyone who enters it, the people who go and sit in the audience, everything.
But what would you do Saturday night? You left the show, you watch it every week.
It was just on when I was getting ready to go out, and there's nothing else on at that time.
Sure.
And it was the final on Saturday night as well.
Yeah, you got to watch the final, haven't you? Live final.
The final.
Yeah. Well, who would you do if you went on the show?
Moby.
I'd probably do... Ooh.
It's not that you look like them though, is it?
No,
you sound like
because they wouldn't let me on as Tracy Chapman. I was furious.
That's annoying.
Because I sound just like her, but they said... No.
Bowie.
You do Bowie?
Yeah.
Can I hear your impression?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, because you just said if you could go on and what have you. I'm saying that.
Well, it's got to be someone you can do. I mean, obviously I'd go on as Will Smith because I can do the rapping.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm not a good singer. I've never really been into singing. I've never done a live singing thing before.
Haven't you?
No.
Not even
But if there was a talent show, if there was a talent show on,
what did you do?
I did Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles and I mimed, dressed up as a woman.
How old were you?
It was when I was still going to school, so it was like...
Well, I hope so.
12.
And what was the... why did you do that? What did you mime to, and why were you dressed as a woman? Where's the logic in this, is what I'm saying, Carl? What sort of act was this?
I think I was meant to get hold of some, like, Egyptian outfit. Couldn't. So I looked in my mum's wardrobe, and I had a dress.
Dress in a fez, carrying some lizards, that'd do it, wouldn't it?
I had some boots and a wig on.
And And how did you dance? Look, he looks confused. He's
confused by his own act.
He's suddenly confused.
The best bit was it was like a proper talent show. Do you know where you'd cover it all?
Yeah.
So I did like the dancing and the miming, and then I also did a bit of magic, right? Where I had like a cloth, right, and I had it over my hand like that, and the crowd were like, oh God, what's he gonna do?
Of course they were. Go on, and what was the trick?
They weren't saying that. And the crowd going, oh, what's the great
There's one chorus. Ooh, what's he gonna do?
Oh, what's the great Pilkington gonna do?
So what I did was, I was stood there teasing them, and
Teasing the audience.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I said I'm gonna make a bird appear before your very eyes, okay? And I pulled the tea towel off, and I just had hold of an egg, and I said, oh, it isn't born yet. They loved it.
He's so proud of that! Look at his
Did you come up with that yourself?
Yeah.
Did you have any help at all?
No, I just
So
thought,
you did walk like an Egyptian and dress as a woman, then you did the egg trick.
And then I was also playing like a janitor, because when the next person was singing, I'd come on and all the electric went off, and I came on going, oh God, has anyone got 50p for the meter?
Oh, you're quite a little showman, weren't you?
And then, like, you know, the
Did you win?
audience chucked us some money.
Yeah.
And,
Are you sure you weren't actually employed as the janitor?
No, did you win?
No, I think we came second. This really tarty girl who did Madonna like a virgin, and I thought, yeah, right. Like you are. She's a right ropey little woman. But
So great. Okay,
brilliant.
so Spy the Stars in Our Eyes, we better play a track, hadn't we?
Indeed, yeah. Bit of Tom McRae. This was a track we played a while back. I enjoyed it. Tom McRae, End of the World News.
Yeah, I love that one. I hope you're enjoying the music. We're loving it, aren't we?
Indeed.
Still to come, we've got another entry to Room 101, Carl's final entry, and then that giveaway, the famous giveaway with Enhance Carl's Life. Can I have some adverts though first, Carl? Because I'm getting a bit fed up with adverts for a little while.
Bandage One Boy, Once Around the Block. Classic, a retro cut.
Getting a bit sad now, Steve. 20 minutes.
Indeed. You're right.
I've got so much to say. I've got so much to leave people with about Carl, all the things he's done. Looking back, Carl, do you remember when I put up the waste paper bin on your head?
Classic.
classic time, yeah.
Yeah, do you remember that? What did I do to you today?
Well, you tried to bring the same memories flooding back to me by putting the same grotty bin on my head. But the annoying thing was, last time I did it was quite a new bin.
Yeah.
Did it today, it's rank, all sorts of stuff on it.
What else did I do when I saw you around the corner down there? Go on.
I went to get the paperwork and that you need to produce the show.
Yeah.
And came round the corner. Ricky was sort of hiding, and I was concentrating, reading stuff. And he goes,
I don't imagine it was as soft and gentle as that. I imagine it was more like... Exactly.
Like that. And I tell you what, I nearly exploded because he's sort of hot on one leg, right? And look, he's sort of, I don't know why I'm doing this, but he sort of was walking that and we're looking down, and I went, and he hopped like that, and his
Rest assured, listeners, that if you were here, it's not any funnier than it is if you were listening at home. It's only amusing to Ricky.
but I tell you what, it makes you feel really refreshed.
He was going on and having a heart attack like that, and I was nearly having a heart attack laughing, and he went, I feel good now. He said, I can see why people skydive. He said that would be good for people that were ill. Oh, Carl!
Did make me feel...
How am I gonna live without Carl for 14 weeks?
Oh, you'll find other people to irritate.
Oh dear, okay, so, right, well, we got, it was final entry in Room 101, but we've also, had so many emails and letters about this competition, people trying to bribe you with things. They've been great. Can you read a few of them more?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, obviously, this is, people are trying to win this, bag that we got signed at the BAFTAs. We got Graham Norton, Angus Dayton, Alan Davis, Jamie Theakston, Paul Whitehouse, Baxendale, Helen, Steve Filmich and McFadden, Peter Davis and Simon Pegg, Steve all different people signing the big bag.
Do you know what I think, though? I don't think people want that. I think they want to contribute to Carl's existence.
Well, this is
I really genuinely think that Carl was sort of, you've you know, you've only been there, how long have we been doing this now with you, sort of like, you know, in the area? 3 months?
Yes.
I think you've touched people's lives, Carl. I don't think I've ever met, well, I haven't met you, but I think your soul comes across as like a cross between, I'd put it, it's like a cross between a cat
And Rain Man. But we've had quite a few which are sort of, which obviously want to kind of further your education. Obviously, when we're off air, this is something we're worried that's just going to dry up, you know, and we've tried hard to educate you. So, lots of books, lots of people suggesting books, the Giant Book of Mysteries. And I mean, if you chose this one, Carl, it tells you, how 3,000 Japanese soldiers literally vanished overnight. Real-life accounts of vampires. The man who planned his own crucifixion. The famous Ghostbuster, Harry Price. And lots of, things about spontaneous combustion.
Is this the one about the woman with the hairball?
That's not got the one with the hairball in there. I'll have to dig that out for you.
These sort of books are the thing that I'm after.
This is what
I've brought in one as well. It's a friend who works with Jane, my girlfriend, called Liz, and she wants to put this forward. And this is Trade Secrets: Everything You Will Ever Need to Know About Everything. And it's just like little tips. You know what I mean?
But there's so many things competing with that. You see, there's another guy who sent in. He wants to give you a video entitled "Making Love" Parts 1 and 2, an instructional guide. I imagine you'd enjoy that, Carl.
Nah.
No? Nothing they can teach you?
Nah.
Sure. The Reader's Digest book of strange stories and amazing facts again. Other stuff here. Why cats have 9 lives, Carl.
Well, hang on a minute.
Why meteors are likely to destroy Earth in the next 100 years.
You're wasting your time.
Okay.
In this Trade Secrets book,
Yep.
listen to this for a tip. Make a necklace from electrical wire.
That's a good idea.
But don't plug it in.
Doesn't say that.
What about this then, Carl? Because, obviously we're concerned that you didn't get your GCSEs, or you didn't get as many as you'd have hoped. There's a guy here, this is Victoria, and she's saying she's more than willing to give you all of her awards and certificates. She's got 6 GCSEs, 6 A's and 4, but she's got many GCSEs, in fact, 6 A's, 4 B's, 3 A levels, and a master's degree in philosophy. She's willing to give you those certificates. She says you will be the proud owner of qualifications. As the owner of qualifications, she has found that anything she says is invariably believed, and that she's popular and very happy. She's willing to give you those qualifications. That's pretty impressive. You can claim they're your own. You have to change your name to Victoria, but other than that, I can see no problems.
And you have to put a dress on and a fez.
It's nice.
More like an Egyptian. But you see, there's lots of educational ones. Then there's other things which are perhaps less useful to you. This is, doesn't say who it's from, but, I think it's Ruth, and she's happy to give you a statue of an ostrich that she made when she was 7.
What about that?
Alright, you love birds, you love animals.
Yeah,
apparently,
statue.
The legs fell off under the weight of the body, so now it's just a legless ostrich, but even so.
Yeah.
Even so.
I've only got a small flat and...
Sure. Another woman here,
I doubt if it's ostrich size.
Yeah, it's just clogging up space, though, isn't it?
This is Lauren. She's willing to give you some of her handmade blue tack animals. She makes animals out of blue tack. She can give you an elephant, a seahorse, a tortoise, a pig, a butterfly, a fish, snail, even a stegosaurus, or anything you choose.
See, I've got my heart set on...
You've got the books, you're excited about the books. What about this, though? This is a Lego alarm clock with a little Lego man who's got a variety of hats. It says here, including biker's helmet and cap. 2, I think, of the village people. I don't know, Carl, if again people are picking certain things up. A clear stiletto mobile phone holder with pink fur on it, flashes pink and green.